Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. I'm going to just put the countdown on to give you guys some time to come in, but please come in and hit that like button as you come in. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. How is everyone doing? How are you guys feeling? This is so weird, by the way. I don't know what has happened to the comments, but on I just went on my phone and I can see some of you guys have left comments, but in the Restream app, I cannot see any of your comments. So I'm just going to respond based on what I see on my phone. So hi, Miss Linda. Linda Gamble is in the chat. Hello. And Linda is having some lemon and cucumber water. Amazing. So hi everyone. Thank you for joining. I don't know what's happening with the comments, but maybe put some test comments in the live chat now so I can figure out if it's all working well now. But I had missed some of your comments previously. So if you had put a comment previously, maybe before I started the live, I did not see it. But yeah, just please put it back again in the live chat. But yeah, how is everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing well. How are you feeling today? Happy Thursday, everybody. Excuse me, please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. Ah, fantastic. Hi, Bama girl. And thank you for the test because yes, I have received this. So I think it was probably before I started the live, any comments that was placed in the live chat I must have missed. And it's only coming up on the phone and not my laptop. But this seems to be working now. So thank you so much, Bama Girl 012. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. In terms of what am I drinking tonight? Today I made a smoothie. So I made a protein smoothie. I had some blueberries and my protein shake. So I just blended it all together, and that's what I'm having. And then I am going to be drinking some water because my skin is telling me that I need to hydrate. You know, when your skin just feels dry, I know part of it is the weather, but also I think is because I haven't drank enough water today. So I'm just gonna be hydrating myself and getting myself back on track today. So yeah, put it in the chat. What are you drinking? Just let yeah, drop it in the chat. What are you drinking and how are you feeling today? So Tommy is the mod. So hi, Tommy. Everyone, please say hi to my mod, Tommy. Welcome to the chat, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. So today we have a very interesting show for you guys tonight. And I say interesting because I was actually shocked to find out that Own decided to have a whole where do I even start from? Owen decided to do a whole compilation of Martell and Melody, and they included a mixture of things. So they had like some never before seen clips. And they also had some clips that we have seen before. They merged everything together, and my thing is I'm like, okay, why are we seeing this? Because Melody and Martel are no longer, well, Melody is no longer on the show. Martel is barely on the show. Nobody knows how long he is going to continue to be on the show. But I guess it's going to be interesting for us to watch it. So I am going to play the clip for you guys, and if you guys just leave like your comments throughout so that in between whilst I pause we can talk about it and I can read some of your comments in between. um Tommy is having some water. You're feeling energetic. It's interesting you say kind of. Like, does that mean like you're not fully energetic? It's a little bit of energy and not that much energy. Like, what's going on there? But water sounds amazing. I love how everyone is being healthy with the water. Bama is having water with electrolytes. Amazing. That honestly sounds amazing. Very, very healthy. Much needed. Okay, so Tommy is saying we have only 15 likes. Please click the like button as you join. Yes, please. It's a free way to support the channel. So please hit that like button. It also helps because, like, some people may not know we're online or and we're live. So the more you like hit that like button and leave comments, the more it's telling the algorithm that we are live. And so that other people can be able to like join in and enjoy the conversation as well. So Kathy Huston 7541 is in the building. Hello. How are you doing? Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Let us know what you're drinking in the chat. Okay, so based on that, I am going to share my screen and let's get into it. Oh, very interesting. It says Google Chrome is accessing your screen. Okay. So let me just. What do you mean unable to share your screen? Because normally this works. Like I be sharing my screen with you guys, so I'm not really sure what's going on today. But give me a second. Let me try something really quickly. Okay, let's pause this for a second. I'm going to make sure the playback speed is a little bit faster. Let's do 130. And then let me do the share. Okay, so let me know, guys, when you can see my screen. Let me. Oh, theater mode. Let's try that. Okay. And then yeah. So now I'm going to play it. Okay. This is all good. Let me know if you guys can hear the video because I want to make sure everything is all good with the video. But before that, I can see some new people in the chat. Hello, everyone. Hello, Deborah Johnson. Hello, you're welcome. Kathy is drinking some coconut water. Ooh, sounds amazing. Very, very healthy. Hi, Bajan B. Hey, you're welcome. Deborah is having some lemonade. Ooh, I love a good lemonade. Not gonna lie. Lemonade is one of my favorite drinks. Yesterday I had a raspberry lemonade and it was so good. So yeah, definitely. Okay, I can see that you guys can see my screen. Fantastic. All right, let's get back on track.
Well, I just really talked to your mom a little bit about how I've been feeling lately and kind of feeling like I can't trust you 100% like I could in the past, to be honest.
Well, you and I, we've talked about that so many times too, though, right?
This is the thing. Like, first things first, you're the one that cheated. Why do you seem annoyed by the fact that she is asking you a question about this? It just low-key seems like he seems bothered about her feelings. And I'm like, dude, why are you so pressed? What is going on? I don't really get that.
We've talked about it, yes. Well, I'm just saying my trust level just isn't really.
Like, look at his face. He just looks annoyed. Like, why are we talking about this now? And it's like, guy, you were the one that did wrong. So if I want to talk about it today, tomorrow, next week, that is, I am allowed to talk about it. Sir?
Hasn't been where I would like for it to be when it comes to you.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's gonna take time. I'm trying to do everything that I can to satisfy you. You know, like whatever you need me to do, wherever you need me to go. I mean, if there's certain things that make you feel a little uncomfortable, just let me know and I'll change it.
Okay, so like the clothes you had on to go to Home Depot.
What was this ninja wearing to Home Depot? Craziness. What was he out here wearing to Home Depot? I'm not being funny, sir. What was that about?
For example, yeah.
Sweetheart, you could have came with me.
But I don't want to feel like I have to be with you every second of the day in order to trust you. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't. I mean, but the thing is, I like for us to be together.
I understand, but I also like my alone time too. And when I'm not having to be mommy and be wife and business owner, but just focus on Melody. And during those times, I don't want to feel like, what is Martell doing?
She gave me another opportunity, and I'm running with it. So I won't make that mistake again.
Did you hear this ninja say, I won't make that mistake again? Like, dude, you absolutely made that mistake again, sir. Over and over and over again. I know, right? It was years ago. That just reminds us how long ago that was. And the fact that this man still continued to play around until he effed around and lost his family is just honestly mind boggling to me. Basham said he wore his tight suit. Oh, that is so funny. Not him going to the grocery store with a tight suit. If it's Martell, anything is believable, honestly. He wasn't dressed like he was going to get stuff for work. When does he ever dress like he's meant to be where he's meant to be? Let me just put a lovely banner up. But yeah, like, honestly, yeah, I wish I would have wanted to be a fly on the wall to see what that man was wearing to the grocery store because I know he's going to be on some BS.
What do you think is essential for couples to do in order to heal?
This is something that I don't think we saw because I don't remember seeing this at all. What is something that is essential for couples to heal? And I'm just like, they were really asking them so many questions about this in the green screen. It is nah. They clearly hid it from us for a reason. And my thing is like, why are they now showing this to us? Is it because they're already losing the viewership and they're trying to like suck people back in? Because I don't think people are really interested in the whole, excuse me, in what they have going on right now with all of the couples on the show. Because I'm thinking if the couples on the show could stand on their own, then why not like have them, why not do a compilation about them? A compilation about, ooh, their life on the show, a compilation of like some fun moments between them. Instead, they didn't do that. Because of course, how are they know that they don't have the viewership for that. It's given that they're just trying to rile people that support like Melody and Martell to kind of get them back to watch the show. Because that's the only explanation, in my opinion, honestly speaking. The only thing that makes sense.
From infidelity.
So did you actually step out on Mary? I mean, did you actually, I mean, I know like maybe you met somebody to talk to him, but did you actually go through with it?
Honestly, it was sexual, but 3 months later, we cut all the sex out. The only thing you need to know, Martell, he stepped out his marriage, he cheated. Melody, taking him back, and we good now. It's over.
Okay, there we go.
Period.
There we go.
When going through infidelity, I was the cheater, which
Isn't it funny? He's the one that cheated, right? But he's still there, like, I was the cheater. Like, you can't even openly admit that you were the one stepping out. It's like you can't openly admit like you were the one stepping out, and you're talking about I was the cheater. Like, you don't see the way Melody is looking at him like, please, what in the world is this? Mm-mm-mm. Tennessee Girl says this was on season 1, episode 2. Oh, did they include all of these clips, or was it just some of the clips? Because I think it's a mixture of things that we saw in season 1 and some that were not included in season 1. And they were just things that we never got to see. Tommy says watching these clips, they were really the show. Absolutely, absolutely. Because I feel like that's the only explanation for why couldn't they use Kimmy and Maurice? Show us how Kimmy and Maurice have been on the show, right? Ooh, the most interesting moments with Kimmy and Maurice, the most interesting moments with Marceau and Tisha. But instead, they're giving us Melody and Martell because they know that's what sells.
Isn't good by any means. But I mean, it's life. It happened. I did it. But I feel
You see how this ninja is trivializing it? It's life. It happens. I did it. It's like, dude, you cheated. The way you're trying to trivialize it, like, yeah, it's life. It happened. I cheated. Like, whatevs, is mind-boggling. And watching that again, I know, we've all seen this, but watching this again is bringing back memories, and it's so annoying. I don't think Mel had sugar mama yet. No, you're right. She didn't have sugar mama yet. She didn't have sugar mama yet. From this scene, if Mel had cheated, he would have mentioned it here. Absolutely. Very, very good spot. Because Martell kept saying later on, after he was exposed to have cheated and had a baby, he now started making it seem like Mel cheated as well. And remember, he then tried to make it seem like, oh, when Mel needs her alone time, she was out there cheating. But then in the first clip, at the start of this clip that I showed you guys, Mel was literally saying, like, sometimes, I also need my alone time. And he didn't say nothing about that. But all of a sudden, her alone time now means she's stepping out. So I'm definitely, in a way, I feel like they're trying to capitalize on Mel and stuff. And I agree. But at the same time, I do feel like these clips they're reminding, especially for the people who seem to have a short memory span and have completely forgotten. It's a reminder to them to remember this is what used to transpire before. This is what Martell was on.
that the healing process comes when you are doing whatever you can for your significant other, for them to trust you, because it's going to take a lot.
And if you feel like it ain't worthy to be done, then that means you don't really want to get that person's trust back.
Yeah.
You got to be able to accept that reality too.
Yeah. By allowing her to have your phone at certain times, or not hiding your phone, and also just making her happy, being available 24/7. Looking back over our relationship over the past few years, there's quite a few things that I would have done differently. The number
Look at how gorgeous Mel is. Like, she's always been gorgeous. She still is gorgeous. But yeah, it's very interesting watching back those clips. He really played himself, honestly.
one thing is I would not have seeked another person to fill a void, well, something I thought there was a void in my marriage.
There are some things that I feel like I definitely would have done differently. I feel that when I got to the place and to the point where I decided to move out due to Martell's infidelity, I wish I had have done that in the very beginning.
Can you see this guy has a smirk on his face when she's talking about the infidelity? And this is why it's like, yo, is it funny to you, sir? Like, he really truly believed that Mel was never going to leave him. I think that if he was a betting man, he could have bet that Mel would never leave him. Because the way he's reacting in these clips is given, she ain't never going to leave me. Why would she? Because I don't understand why your wife is talking about your infidelity and you're smirking when you should be looking sad and looking like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby, and never going to happen again. He's there with a smirk on his face. But he wants to still be seen as a good guy. He doesn't want nobody to know about, what's going on. And you're out here cheating. That's crazy.
first time, because I think once I did that, he gained a whole nother level of respect for me. And I think that he started to say, you know what, Melody is not going to accept this at all.
Melody makes a very, very good point. Once she left was when he started to have respect for her. That's the thing. It's a lesson also when people, if you're dating a man and he cheats on you, or if you're married to somebody and he cheats on you, if you're going to take him back, let him work for it. Let him actually experience losing you so that he can really decide whether or not this is what he wants for his life. Let him experience it. Let him feel like, oh my God, I've lost it all. And then if he realizes that he's lost it all, if he doesn't want to lose it all, he will do whatever it takes to try to get you back. Bajan, you are so sweet. I'm definitely feeling better today. I think I'm feeling better. I had a consultation today with the doctor, and yeah, they gave me some options. I still have to do like some other consultations with other people, get a second opinion, but yeah, I'm feeling better. I think mentally I'm in a better space. Thank you so much for asking.
Let me get my stuff together. So at times I feel like I wish I had have done that first. Maybe putting that foot down and saying, you know what, no, I'm not accepting this. I am gone. I'm moving out. Maybe if I had done that first, then there wouldn't have been other instances. So for me, that's something that I feel like I regret for sure.
I agree with her, and I love how transparent Melody is, because I feel like even someone listening in, think about what she said. If you're dating someone who has cheated on you, even if you choose to take him back, let it take a while. Don't just allow him, because he gives the impression that you're never going to leave him. And I think he got the impression, he felt like she ain't never going to leave. Even when she left, he couldn't believe it. And to this day, I don't even think he can believe it, because he probably thinks like, because the way he moves like he thinks that one day they'll get back together. And it's like, bro, it's never, ever, ever going to happen. Hello to everyone that has just come in. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button. We are just talking about Martell and Melody, in particular the never before seen clips and the clips that we've seen before that Owen has just put on their YouTube channel. So we are watching, we are giving commentary. This is not our clips, this is fair use commentary only. So we will be pausing and giving our impressions in between. Also put your feedback in the chat. We'll be going through the comments, pausing, talking about it. But yeah, guys, please hit the like button. The likes don't match the amount of people in the live, so please hit that like button. Thank you. Okay, Bama Girl says, but when she went back, he thought if he did it again, she would come back, but she didn't. That's why he thought after 5 years she would come back. Absolutely, I agree with you. He definitely thought she was going to come back. I don't think he really ever thought she was ever going to leave him. I think he overestimated the love that she had for him. The thing is, no matter how much a woman loves you, when she is done, she is done. And you made it very easy for her because you were so disrespectful in the way in which you were out here cheating. You were out here cheating with this lady. You did not respect your wife. She had the audacity to talk to your wife some type of way. You did not step in. These are some of the things that I feel like ruined it. And there was no way that Mel was going to continue to stay in that kind of relationship with him. But I think Martell definitely thought that she was going to stay. He definitely thought, okay, even if she leaves, she's gonna come back to me like she did previously. She's gonna come back. We're gonna get back together. You know, even with a divorce, and this is why I think to an extent he continues to be obsessed with her, because he feels like one day they'll get back together, and it's like you've lost her. You are never gonna get back together. And the earlier you realize this, the earlier you get on track and you move on and change your life, right? So yeah, I definitely think yeah, such a shame. We have 30 likes, so we have 45 people in the live right now, and we only have 30 likes. So please hit that like button, everybody. If everyone in this chat hits that like button, we'll get we'll hit like 100 views at this point, or maybe even more. So yeah, please keep hitting the like button so that more people can also find this video. Okay, let's continue.
I feel that infidelity, it comes to a closure when that person really wants to quit.
Listen to this idiot. He is saying that infidelity comes to a quit when that person really wants to quit. Did Martell ever quit? No. So he's indirectly telling us that he didn't quit because he didn't want to. You see that kind of, what kind of craziness is that?
I don't think it's like a word from God that comes in. I don't feel that a counselor can do it. I don't feel that a pastor.
Now, I hate to say it, but I'm agreeing with him in the sense that nobody can make you stop cheating on your spouse. You have to want to stop cheating. So he is right. It's just a bit rich coming from him. It's like great message, wrong messenger.
Can put enough words into your mind to make you quit cheating. I feel that that person who's the cheater have to really own it,
And make up their mind.
accept that it's an issue, and just make up in their mind that it's over.
My hope for my family and for my future is really just to
So he had the blueprint to make sure he would stop cheating, but chose not to stop cheating. Do you know how crazy that is? It's different from someone that does not even know how to stop cheating. This man was out here giving us a whole blueprint, telling us, oh, if he wants to stop cheating, he will. He has to want to, and was giving us all of these tips, but couldn't apply those tips to his life and to stop him from cheating. Do you know how crazy that is? So that means he's indirectly saying he continued to cheat because he wanted to. Ain't that sad?
be happy, be at peace, and just to really enjoy life. You know, you get this one shot at this thing called life.
It's my hope for my family.
The kids are so adorable. Look at how little they were. My goodness. So, so adorable. They've grown into beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kids. But yeah, they were so little here. Hello, reviews and recaps, mods and chat. Hello, Nanny of the Maroons. Thanks for joining. Martell knew how much Mel wanted a stable family for her children, and he used that against her. He was intimidated by Mel's drive. I completely agree with what you're saying. I feel like he was definitely intimidated by Mel's drive. That much is so sure, because it's like he kept talking about how busy she gets, but then if she's so busy, take some work off her plate. What were you doing, sir? If she's so busy, why not help her employ a staff that can help her with the work? Why can't you, as her husband, help her with the work? He definitely was too, did not want, I think he loved the benefit of being with her, i.e., things get done, money is coming in, speaking engagement, the family front, which makes him look like, oh, Martell is this responsible man. I think he enjoyed those benefits of having Melody as his wife, but then I think he also resented the fact that she was so driven compared to him, because it's like when you're with a driven person, you see more of your inadequacies. It's like you're really seeing yourself and you're like, wow, I really ain't ish. Because look at how hardworking she is, and look at how hard she's doing this. Think about what we know about Martell. Martell has struggled to pass the builder's license test. Let that sink in for a second. Imagine being with a woman who has passed the builder's license test. Of course, there's going to be some insecurities in there, because you're not smart, but she is. She's the brains behind the operation, honey. And I think that's sadly what it is. So from season 1, episode 1, Marceau and Mr. Potato Head knew what Popeye was doing, and they all tore Mel down. Absolutely, they all knew what it was. They did not care. I feel like they've always felt like Mel, or they've always felt inadequate, because being around Mel is like when someone is a star, they shine so brightly, right? And if you're not a star and you're a jealous person, you will struggle because you're seeing this person shine and getting everything they want, which may even be some of the things that you want for yourself, but you don't have the drive, you don't have the boldness, the audacity to go after these things. And then you're seeing this lady go after all the things that you've always wanted to go after. And so I think there's also an element of that. When I think back to when Mel was doing all those she was doing lives and doing social media stuff, and the girls used to make jokes about her, and Mel is always recording and Mel is always doing things, and she and they tried to make it seem like she was pretentious for focusing on social media, but she was the one that was able to build a following on social media, whilst they've always struggled to garner fans. And now they're all doing the lives that they used to talk down to her about doing, right? So I think, yeah, it's definitely very interesting seeing these clips back again. See the way he ruined his cute family, SMH. Yep, absolutely. He definitely did that single handedly. And the saddest part is the fact that he had chances to get it right. Nobody can look back and watch these clips and think Melody was not a good wife. She definitely gave him chances to get it right. She accepted him not being perfect. Okay, get it together. Defend your wife, defend your home. Yet he continued to fail at it. So that's clearly a man that doesn't want to be married, is just out here playing games. Sad, but true. He didn't think he would get caught again. He also didn't know Ari would be so bold to contact Mel. Absolutely. But at the same time, if she had already contacted Mel the first time, it's not so surprising that he would or she would contact Mel again, right? So I just think he over relies, or he thinks too highly of himself and the control that he thinks he has on the mistress, or the control that he thinks he has on women in general. Absolutely sad. Let me see. Mel had his back. I was encouraging him. He was studying, but she was studying. He was studying, but he was studying peasant anatomy. Absolutely. He was too busy focusing on the peasant instead of focusing on how to pass the builder's test and everything else that he had going on, in my opinion. Mel was the boss of the relationship. They were never equally yoked. Yes. Ooh, this is a word. Nanny of the Maroons with a good word. I believe at some point he saw his cheating as a superpower. It was the only thing he could use to control her emotionally. Wow. That is a very, very deep and interesting take. And you are correct. I agree that they were never equally yoked. I think that she was always on the trajectory to being a star and being excellent. And he was one of those people that could skate by because they always probably had, friends in certain spaces. And that was sort of like his popularity was probably his leverage in society. And so I think he got away with a lot of things. I think, yeah, I think he got away with a lot of things, to be honest. And I think he presented as something that he wasn't, until, of course, the reality then started to set in later on. But yeah, I also would not be surprised if he used his cheating as a means to control her emotionally, because he knew how much his cheating hurt her. And the thing is, sometimes when a man resents you and is insecure, they know how to do things to try to break your spirits. So I will not be surprised if that was a method, or that was a way that he was thinking to try to use that to break her spirit. I would not be surprised at all. Absolutely sad, but would not be surprised about that. Hello, Super. Good evening. How are you? I hope you've had a wonderful day. Mel was the breadwinner. Why should the lady work more than the man in the marriage? Absolutely. There is no reason, absolutely no reason. And if she's working harder than the man, she needs to be able to get credit for it, not the man acting like he's the man. Because at this point, you need to call her Big Mama, because she's the one doing your work and hers, honey. So, mm-mm. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think she definitely did most of the work in that marriage, in terms of like business and also other areas as well. And you can tell like she really fought for the marriage and really wanted the marriage to work. Um, but yeah, Martell, It's so sad. Watching these clips back, I wish that Martell had gotten it right, but too bad. What he sowed is what he reaped. Bashan said, but how many times did she say we're a power couple, even though she was the brains behind it all? Exactly. That's the thing. She always made it a collective, a team. We are winning. We're this, we're that. But I feel like deep down, Martell probably just always resented the fact that she was the one doing great things and he was just there as a figurehead, really.
My future, that we raise our kids to be very successful in life, that they become amazing citizens of this amazing country, and that Mel and I live happily ever after.
Well, I'll tell you what, I still have some concerns about last night and the dinner.
Okay.
The conversation that was at the table and you bringing up.
Even look at how decent he used to look before when he was with Mel. Imagine what he looks like now. He looks raggedy now, in my opinion, versus how he looks like when he was with Mel.
Certain things that I don't think that was suitable.
Yeah, like what's a deal breaker?
Yes.
Okay. We always have those kind of conversations though. So Marcel, you seem to be the one who's like committed, you stay committed. Do you think there's a deal breaker?
I haven't even thought about deal breaking because I haven't thought about breaking the deal.
We have two friends that are about to get married, and I feel like my question about deal breakers, things you will put up with, things you won't put up with, these are things that should be discussed. So I think it was a great question and I loved every bit of it.
I don't think that was just appropriate because it's always like you're trying to start something with me. I'm serious.
Like, this man absolutely thinks everything is about him, because it's like, how did he manage to turn the fact that she was asking a question in the group about deal breakers to, oh, it feels like it's something about me? Like, dude, she's asking a question about deal breakers. The only reason it upsets you is because you are hoping that she does not have any deal breakers and she's able to just tolerate anything that you do. Because I don't understand why anyone can be so vexed about somebody bringing up what their deal breakers are. It's so weird. Absolutely weird to me.
So, I mean, it's not funny because it bothered me a lot. It's almost like you be trying to dig at people.
Well, baby, if there's nothing to be found or dug up, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Like, if you're not hiding nothing, then what does it really matter? Like, what does it really matter? This is what like cracks me up about Martell. It's like, what does it really matter if there is nothing to be dug up? Doesn't make sense to me.
My thing is, if you don't want your business in the street, don't do anything that you don't want in the street.
No, I mean, first, I'm not perfect.
Right.
But when something goes,
You're not perfect, but if she was the one stepping out on you, you're not going to have that energy. Because as much as a lot of men always want sympathy and empathy when they cheat and they want you to understand that they are not perfect, honey, if your wife cheats, sorry about that. Oh, people need to stop calling me. I'm so sorry, guys. And my phone is on focus mode, so I don't know why it keeps coming in. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, I really hate when I get calls during the lives. Like, it throws me off, I'm not gonna lie. It's like people still like to call me even when I'm on live.
I don't think it's suitable to continue to bring
Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry, guys.
it up, and especially amongst the friends.
Well, that's what aren't friends supposed to be there for each other to help?
Now Mel is just playing with him. Mel's like, aren't friends supposed to be there to help each other? Mel's letting him hang himself. Absolutely. I'm so here for it. And this is why they are posting Mel and Martell, because it was like good TV, right? Raw, authentic, vulnerable, entertaining TV. Not the shenanigans, not the pretentious nonsense we get from Marceau and Tisha and Maurice and Kimmy.
Considering that we're about to go into business with them, our business, like, you don't tell nobody like our business on what's going on. You know what I'm talking about? If we're talking to a counselor, is this.
I feel like he's trying, when some people are trying to mold you, right? To a point where they feel like you don't speak about our business, you don't tell nobody what's going with us. I feel like that's what That's what Martell is doing here. He's trying to basically say to her, like, you don't have to tell our business to nobody, because he's trying to train her so that no matter what happens, she doesn't speak out publicly about it.
Different. When we talking to anybody who could possibly go and just mention it to somebody else, next thing you know, 100 people know our business.
If I want to ask a
Thank you for joining in. You can support the channel. Yep, you heard her. Support the channel. You can support the channel with super chats and super stickers. Thank you, girl. You've heard the mod. Yes, feel free to send super chats and super stickers, guys, if you want to support. Why hasn't been seen before? Every clip I've seen was shown earlier. Interesting. So super, some of the clips, I think with the confessionals, I don't think that the whole thing was shown. I think bits and bobs were shown previously, but not the whole thing. Look what Mel had in her house. A punk who hated her. Wow, you're not wrong. Gave children and created business with this drag queen. I would change my kid's name and never speak to him ever again. Yeah, honestly, it really is. I think she called him a queen once, didn't she? Yeah, that's really what it is given, because the way that he has navigated the relationship, the way he has just navigated showing up for his family when it really mattered has just been outrageous. And the fact that he wanted her to bury it under the rug, he wanted it to be her secret. It's like, if you wanted it to be your secret, then you shouldn't have been outside in the streets hanging with your side chick. You were so public with her, according to your words on that interview, right? You were so public with her. You were out in these streets. You were seen together. People knew about you. It was an open secret. Yet you don't want her to speak about it on national television. That's crazy business.
question amongst a group of my friends, then I can ask the question.
I don't think it was suitable for you to bring that up at the dinner table, period.
So I think it was a very valid and good question.
You bring up that question, they would think like, the whole time they going through something? Is Martell cheating or is Melody cheating?
Well, nobody's wondering if Melody cheated because I said
I love how Mel cleared it up. Mel is like, ain't nobody wondering if Mel cheated, because
cheating is a deal breaker.
she said cheating is a deal breaker. I'm like, period. Let everybody know we ain't talking about Mel over here. We're talking about you, sir. You're the one that could not keep your penis where it needed to be kept, sir. It had nothing to do with her. So yeah, if she had cheated, he would have said it. So guys, we're at 45 likes. Please click that like button. Yes, please. Please let that likes match the amount of people in the chat. Please hit that like button. As you come in, thank you for joining. Hit that like button. Please and thank you. Super says the stuff Martell is saying would make sense on his behalf, but they all knew what he was doing. Absolutely, they all knew. I think everyone knew what he was doing. It was very public. It was like an open secret in Huntsville, allegedly, at the time. So I think that him just not wanting it on TV is he wants to be able to control the narrative. And him allowing Mel to speak her speech and talk about how she's feeling and stuff, yeah, he just was not here for it at all. Nanny of the Maroon says, Maso told us that he's very different around coleslaw, very aggressive. Wow. Now we see it with our own eyes how he treats her on the lives. He resented Mel for being the head of their household. Absolutely. I don't even remember that Maso said that in the past, but I'm not surprised. Because remember, even him trying to like talk to Mel and talk at Mel in front of the courthouse after the whole Revenge P thing, Coleslaw was right there next to him. And I'm just like, the fact that he still had the effrontery, the audacity to still be trying to say certain things to Mel in front of Coleslaw is wild to me. So yeah, I will not be surprised if Marceau or anyone felt like he was more aggressive when he is next to Coleslaw, because I think we could definitely see that. So, guys, for those who have just joined in, please hit that like button. I can see that more people have joined, so please hit that like button as you come in. Please and thank you.
Cheating is definitely something that I would get a divorce over. Sometimes you got to look past the love you have for that person and you got to accept the ugly truth, which is maybe this is just who they are. So
look at him. It's like, sir, you're choosing not to believe that she will leave you. She has literally said it outrightly that it is a deal breaker. It's like sometimes men will not listen to what you say, but when you then leave, they're like, oh, how? Why did that happen? She told you in so many ways that it is a deal breaker for her, yet you continue to cheat.
Almost talking like you got from experience or something.
you are so
Like, shush.
funny, Martell.
Not trying to be vague.
We're at the dinner table and we're all talking about our deal breakers. Mel mentioned cheating.
Right.
And I gotta be honest with you, man, it seemed like it was pretty fresh. I wanna make sure everybody's good.
Look, it's been like a year and a half.
I never heard about
that's
that.
my priorities. My wife, my family, my business, and then come back to the comeback group. So we gonna be good no matter what.
No.
So here's the thing. I feel like even this scene with all of these men, because it's not lasting well, because like all of them knew what each other were doing, right? Because remember, Tisha said that I think Marcel was involved in, or Martell bought a BMW or something. So if that's the case, that means these men probably knew at the time of filming this. Yes, they were all playing in our faces. Oh God, I thought I dropped my protein shake, but no, it wasn't my protein shake, it was my phone. Oh, thank goodness. But yeah, imagine they had probably known at this time, and then they're in our faces playing around, acting like they did not know that he was out here cheating.
You saying we good, but listen, we're about to go into business. We can't have no bumps in the road. We got this thing going on. And a lot of times what happens is the guy might think he's good because he didn't apologize and all this stuff. But I mean,
it's a stepping stone.
It happened over a year ago. It didn't seem as if it was a year ago.
Even though we about over that situation in terms of me cheating, a lot of people have been coming back to Mel like your husband is cheating on you.
Exactly. No woman wants the husband, wants a situation where somebody's coming back to let her know that her husband has been cheating on her. Like nobody wants to deal with that. That's just the reality. Nobody wants to deal with that. Bajan says that's why Marceau and especially Rasputia thick tongue Junior should have shown Mel the utmost respect, because she didn't. And she and Peasant put them in one of their houses allegedly. Exactly, right? So that's the thing. There's a lack of respect. And I think there was even a point in these clips where Mel talked about the lack of respect and allowing the side chick to basically be able to disrespect her as the wife. And so, yes, I definitely feel like that is a big thing that Martell needed to have addressed, and yet he didn't. Like, I think Martell is just one of those weak men who do not really know how to be a leader in the relationship. But because, like, he comes across as like masculine and like strong at the gym, like you just assume that he knows how to lead properly in a relationship. But when you get to the bottom of things and see that Mel was the one doing most of the work at home, Mel was the one doing most of the work with the business, you can see that there is no like hard work there, right? There is no drive, there is no ambition, there is no leadership, because as the leader, you should even be doing more work. Your wife shouldn't be the one doing the most work. You should be the one doing most of the work. And so I just think like Martell definitely, yes, he may present as this like, oh, masculine man, that knows how to get all these things done. But it's like, are you really that kind of man? Or is your wife having to do most of the things, but is she covering up for you? Right? Because she never publicly embarrasses him. She always says, oh yeah, we did this, we achieved this, even though she was the one that did the work.
That's tough.
We about over it, and they still bringing information.
That's why she's talking about respectful. Because if it was handled inside closed doors, and you good, but then all of a sudden everybody else stepping out and coming at you, and now you feeling like you're the fool for even taking it back.
I guess it will be.
Exactly. Marceau is right. That is exactly what I think Mel probably felt, because it's like, it's one thing for me to take you back privately and um is one thing for me to take you back privately and quietly and things are all good. And it's another thing for your side chick to feel enough to text me, to be messaging me on some BS, right? To call me. Um, it's another thing also for it to be a public thing as well.
A little better if everybody in the world don't know.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, it would.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that'd be my first conversation. If
like,
somebody said, she said, hey, I cheated, I'd be like, who all knows?
Right.
And she'd be like, everybody in this city, I'd be like, well, we gotta move.
I mean, at this
Exactly, you see? Now look at Marceau's face with the smirk on his face.
point, what advice do you give Martell?
Never admit it, buddy.
Did you hear what he said? He said, never admit it, buddy. Never admit it. Okay? So what makes you think that if he was cheating, would he admit it? That man has said never admit it. And he also insinuated moving out of a whole city because you cheated and everyone now knows. So yeah. I don't care for the Scotsman, but I honestly believe that they tried to talk some sense into Martell when they found out that Mel was serious about leaving him. Martell was just too cocky. I agree. I feel like for all of the shortcomings of the Scots, I don't believe that they want to lose. I feel like they understand the value of being married and they definitely want to stay married. But I think Martell is the one that had no regard regardless and, had a good thing, but had no regard, did not really preserve the good thing that he did have. So yeah, I think he's too cocky. Hello everyone. For those who have just come in, you're welcome. Please hit that like button. Also, let us know what you're drinking in the chat. And also we have one request. Please hit that like button, and also if you can, please share the video so that other people can find it too. And yeah, let us know what you're drinking or eating in the chat. Is also a way for us to kind of know how are you feeling and what are you drinking. Give us some drink suggestions. All right, so at the moment we're going through the latest own clip. That is a compilation that Own themselves put on their YouTube channel. So we are kind of just going through it and playing it and talking about it. So yeah. Super says no one can convince me that Marceau didn't cheat on her. Exactly. I agree with that as well. I feel like there was definitely some cheating there somewhere. But Marceau was smart enough to not get caught. And smart enough to know, okay, this is not working out. Let me not make it let me not go too far with the whole thing. But yeah, definitely think that he didn't. Miss J says these clips are not new. You can find them with the old episodes. I feel like it's a mixture of stuff that you can find and stuff that you cannot find, to be honest, Miss J. But yeah. So what I'm going to do also is, because I'm conscious I don't want us to watch every single thing. So I'm going to move it forward and click on another thing for us to like watch and talk about.
Trials and tribulations that's going to come up to test your relationship.
This is when Tisha became the villain. This is when Tisha became the villain. And for those of you who may have forgotten, this is when Tisha literally, in my opinion, became the villain. Imagine at someone's anniversary, this is the question that you ask them.
Just discuss one of the biggest problems in our relationship that we had. Mel and Martell, like we're here to celebrate you two, y'all love, and you guys have overcome some things in your relationship. One of the things is infidelity.
Imagine, is this what you bring up at an anniversary? Look at Melody's face. You can tell she was definitely her. Is this what you bring up at an anniversary dinner? These people have said they've gone through something. They've told you as your friends that they've been through something. And then you're deciding that, oh, let me bring this up right there at the anniversary dinner to F this up for all of them. Let's F this up and talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about. That's crazy. And so I can understand if Melody never really sees it for Tisha after that, because it's like, why do you think that that is an appropriate conversation to have? But let it be that someone said this about Marceau, the world would have ended, absolutely ended, would have been in shambles. Martell got caught up with a disrespectful ratchet side chick. Absolutely. She's a side chick that did not stay in a side chick's place. Most side chicks are quiet. They don't be saying ish. They know there is a wife. They avoid the wife. They make sure they have no runnings with the wife. But this one was so disrespectful. And that's how you know that Martell gassed her up. Because if Martell didn't gas her up, why would she ever feel that comfortable to be in the same space, to pick up the phone, to be calling the wife? You know, that's a level of disrespect that can only happen if the man has been out here gassing her up, making her feel like, yo, oh, I like you and you're this and you're just not like my wife. All that kind of nonsense that some men say when they're getting caught up with their side chicks, right? You're welcome to the live. Please hit that like button. You've heard it here. Thank you. So playing yep, absolutely.
How did you guys overcome that to make you where you're at today? Because you're stronger right now. So
It's like, girl, even look at her face. She looks like she has a smirk on her face as she's asking this question. It's like, honey,
Okay.
And the way she made that eye contact with Martell, it's like Martell was seething. He was hurt. He was upset. He was angry. You can see and feel his energy.
The hell she talking about? Who want to be reminded?
He's not wrong, to be honest. In this particular case, he is not wrong. Who wants to be reminded of them stepping out? Oh, that was funny though. Martell cracked me up for that one. I'm gonna say that.
Reminded on the 10th anniversary about infidelity.
I think overcoming something as major as infidelity in any relationship is.
But look at how Mel handled it. Martell looks like he had nothing to say, did not even know where to come at it. And Mel was just like, yeah, fine, I'm gonna answer the question. And she did. And that's why I'm like, people just gravitated towards Mel. See how she just handled that as a pro. It's like Tisha came with that energy trying to be negative and stuff. And Mel is just like, okay, all right, let's handle it.
Working on building that trust back. Because when trust is broken, it's broken, right?
Yeah, I think this was not a good idea.
Exactly. And look at Kimmy. Kimmy was relishing. Kimmy was happy. This how these people never liked Mel. They never liked Mel. Look at her face. You look kind of happy about this being a conversation, honey. Don't understand why they organize the 10-year anniversary celebrations for them. Resputia, Junior, Petty, and Nasty. That's why Marceau got her like a doma. Absolutely. And I think, look, he's given Marceau is her karma, because the way in which she did this was nasty work. Absolute nasty work. And I think that it's funny because if anyone had ever done such a thing with her and Marceau, she would have been so hurt. Just questions that Nell had about her relationship was too much, right? But then look at her sitting down with these couples and openly talking about the person who is meant to be celebrating their 10th year anniversary. That's crazy. No empathy whatsoever. Look at Kimmy's face.
And having a partner in your
Look.
relationship is willing to admit their mistakes. That's first thing. Saying, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done this. This is not right. And this isn't the man that I wanted to be to you when I said I'm going to be your husband, right?
And Martell is just there looking like a deer in headlights. Super says Tisha with that sly grin has always shown how nasty she is. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, people forget and feel like, oh no, it's not her that's nasty. It's more like Wanda. No, she is nasty. Because why is that appropriate? And then you have a grin, same as Kimmy. They both had like this sly look on their faces, and it's like y'all really never ever liked Martell and Melody, especially Melody. You guys never liked her, and you guys were laughing about her misfortune.
B is building that trust and working to build that trust.
Look at Marceau's face. Marceau looks like he wanted to laugh. Like these people never liked y'all, and it's so sad because Martell played into it. These people never liked you, and look at you, you played into it. Absolutely bizarre. Played into it. LOL. So that's why. So why is Tisha always playing the victim in recent seasons? Seems like she used to carry the bone. Plus, Melody's answer was smart. Absolutely, Tisha used to be the bone carrier, the ish starter. She used to stir things up like crazy, and now she is like the professional victim on the show. So I agree. It's like she can stir up ish and cause problems, but then never ever expect you to bring that energy towards her when it comes to her and her marriage. And then she has the audacity to always say, why you're always trying to come for our marriage? And it's like, honey, you've come for people's marriages, or did you forget? But yeah, it really gives like she forgot that she was the bearer of bad news, especially in this particular relationship, I will say.
She is saying everything, telling everybody our business. I wish it just stopped. Period.
Let me tell you something, though. As a woman, when you step away,
My thing is like, how are you saying she's telling everybody her business? Somebody brought up a question, she's answering it. She's not really going into it like that. She's just giving more of a, okay, yes. What else? What would he have expected her to say? Super says she is Wanda's daughter. She's just not as loud like her. Absolutely agree. She's exactly like Wanda, just not as vocal. She's a bit nice, nasty with it.
and you pull that support from that person to show them, like, no, we ain't gonna do this, and I'm not gonna still be your best friend, and we ain't gonna still be talking every day, and we ain't gonna be texting all day, and all those things, I feel like it gave him another level of respect for me.
Where do you guys see yourselves in the
What kind of stupid question is that? Where do you see yourselves in? Like, what do you expect them to say?
next 10 years?
I guess
Look at Melody's face, like, what kind of question is that? I'm just trying to get through this week, for goodness sakes, this month, this year.
some type of traveling ball with my kids or something. I don't know. Hope my development company would have be a $1 billion company by then.
Is that question to me too now?
Yeah.
It's difficult for you.
Of course, it's difficult for her to answer because she doesn't know where you're going to be.
To see what you see in 10 years?
That's a long time away.
Yeah. Love and Married Huntsville used to be a good show, not gonna lie. And obviously it was because of the transparency of Melody and Martell. I would say, well, I won't even say Martell, because Martell really wasn't transparent. Melody was. And because Melody was transparent, it kind of forced him to have to address some things, but it's obvious that he really did not want to address nothing on the show. If it was up to Martell, Martell would have come over on the show, would have been cheating, and he would have been pretending like he was an innocent man that ain't never did nothing wrong. And a lot of people will be out here thinking that man is innocent, that man ain't never cheated, ever, ever in life. That's the vibe that Martell is given. Mel won't pop her, but they ain't your friends. Absolutely, she did, and she was completely right. These people are not his friends, but he was so stupid to realize it. So stupid to realize it. But then again, was he also a friend to these people? I think not. But yeah, they're definitely not his friends. But I'm sure he would learn that lesson the hard way. Rasputia Jr. gets Rasputia to fight her battles. Absolutely agree. It's like every single time there's some issue with somebody, next thing Wanda is stepping in. And it's like she is a grown ass woman with her kids. Why does she have to be out here waiting for somebody to come and fight her battles. But no, it's like, just leave her. She's a grown-ass woman. Let her fight her battles. You know? Absolutely. I mean, Camille says, and that's a long time away, he could have fixed right then. Yeah, he could have. He could have fixed it right then. He could have changed, but he chose not to. You know, it was cool to continue to be doing whatever he wanted to do. He wanted to be able to have a wife at home and then a side chick outside. That's just my opinion.
Hopefully we're in a much better space 10 years from now.
Well, she ended it on a high note for him. Okay, let's move this forward a little bit.
I knew it was wrong then, and I know it's wrong now. But that's, I mean, I almost lost my family behind it.
It was such a slap in the face to me, I feel, because I didn't feel like I had the idea that we were in that kind of a place.
Yeah, it's like when you feel like you're being blindsided by somebody, it's worse, right? Because like if you feel like, okay, this man is cheating, that's different. But like you were completely blindsided, you thought like things were going well, you know, everything is good, only for you to then find out that he was stepping out. It's like, what? It sounded like it was an actual shock for her at the time. Hello, Mobetta. You're welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Seek Peace says Martell got a shocker with Mel. She was not a dumb woman. Absolutely. I bet he wished he had married somebody like Eri and Corey who would have just put up with his nonsense and never left him. But no. You got yourself a smart woman, a high achieving woman as well. Of course. She's not going to tolerate that nonsense. Maso hooked Martell up with Arian, so where was the help? Super says Mel looks so calm and at peace today on TikTok. Oh, absolutely. I missed that. Oh, I missed that on TikTok today. Yeah, I usually tend to catch like the Instagram lives, but sometimes I miss the TikTok lives. Oh, bless her. But it's good to hear that she looks calm and at peace. I love that because it's very hard to reconcile the woman, you know, who was going through this with the woman that we now see on the other side of it. And it's so beautiful that there's been such a huge change since then. I'm so happy for her. Nanny of the Maroon says, Nell was dropping clues like candies. That dusty ninja was shaking in his boots during the confessionals, but he is very weak and he kept going back to the slow hole for ego boost. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think in the confessional, she was definitely saying everything. She was literally telling him it's a deal breaker for her. She was telling him she does not see 10 years if he continues like that. Like everything that she was doing was a clue. Everything she was saying was a clue. But he was too dumb to really listen. He was too dumb to understand where she was going with all of that. And that's the problem with someone that is so self-absorbed. That man was too busy worrying about who knows what he was worrying about, but clearly wasn't thinking about his marriage, you know. So but yeah, I'm glad that Mel left his dusty ass, to be honest, because she would have probably still been crying dealing with this nonsense.
Wouldn't have guessed that was going on. And so now we're not about to not discuss what the problem is because I absolutely don't know what the hell the problem was.
It ain't like me and you were in a place in our marriage where we ain't having sex and we ain't kissing and we ain't doing walks in the park and we ain't holding hands. That concerns me that we were still doing all of that and you still found it necessary to have a full-blown girlfriend. Right?
That is a very good question because it's like, you know, you can be like, oh, I wasn't doing this and stuff, but things were good in the house, yet you were out here stepping out. So it's like, what's the actual truth to prevent it from happening again? I'm glad Mel didn't do the 47 acres with them, absolutely, because they did not have her best interest at heart. I feel like they just liked having her around because she gave them access. She gave them access to certain rooms. She gave them opportunities. Remember when Tisha was stuck being a stay-at-home mama, but she wanted to expand? Mel took her out. Mel took her into networking events. So Mel brings the access that they couldn't have gotten on their own. Tonya Michelle says he's so arrogant right to this day, and that's what ignore me about him. Yeah, that's what annoys me about him, probably is what you mean. But yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Because it's like you're so arrogant, you need to like take it down a few notches, like just a little bit. Take it down like 5 steps, right? Take it down about 5 steps. Let's be introspective. Let's think about what can we do better. These are the things that I wish that Martell would show up in, to be completely honest. So yeah, definitely was not feeling the way this was handled at all.
I love you. That's why though I stepped out in another relationship.
You hear this, man? Melody is not believing the BS. He's out here talking about, yeah, though I love you, I stepped out because, like, shut up. I knew Tisha and Kimberly was jealous of Mel when Kimberly called Mel bougie. Yes, that was a telltale sign. Because it was like, how is it that this lady is trying to do nice things for you, and next thing you're talking about her being bougie? And it's like, why is that? Is that meant to be an insult? Like, what? Why is that even appropriate? Like, what is going on over there, right? So yeah, not surprised at all. She lets us know when she's going live on her Facebook group. Oh, I see. I don't really use Facebook like that. That's probably why I miss it. Um, and sometimes if I'm not on Instagram itself, I miss that. But like with lives, I tend to get notifications when I'm on Instagram that she's going live, so I tend to be able to join those. I can't believe Arian is still following Martell to this day. Thank God Melody left him. Yep, absolutely. It's a shame that that lady ain't never gonna learn. Like, you know how someone has decided that they're gonna be a side chick forever, they will stick to that man. I feel like that's who Arian is. Arian has decided that that's her man and she will stick by him. For richer, for poor, for all of that. Very, very sad that she's still dealing with this nonsense years later. Absolutely. Mabetta says Mel was doing all the work. That's why his dusty ass was able to cheat. He never protected Mel. He didn't supposed to tell Aaron. He was supposed to tell Aaron, don't disrespect my wife. Agreed. Nobody, no side chick, I don't care how long you've been dating the side chick, should ever have the audacity to call the wife. Ever in life. You should never be able to call your wife. Nobody you are dating, messing with, should ever be able to call your wife, should have the audacity to call your wife. Ever. And then to then be disrespectful to your wife is another thing. It's like, one, you're calling the wife and then you're disrespectful. No, you need to be in timeout. But because he knows that you don't even respect your wife enough, she knows that she can get away with calling the wife. That's why it's so sad. She did take Tisha out then. Then Tisha tried to lie on the reunion and turn to her stink breath husband to ask him, I was planning things right, baby. Yeah, right. I know. It's like, please. You were a stay-at-home mom that was not doing nothing at the time. Mel took you out. She took you into rooms. She made you feel comfortable. She introduced you to people. Mel is one of those people. You just get the impression if she can help you in whatever form or capacity, she doesn't gatekeep. A lot of women will gatekeep opportunities because they feel like if they get you in there, they don't want you to push them out of spaces that they have created for themselves. And I don't blame them because think about how Love and Marriage Huntsville has gone. If those people were more supportive of Mel, maybe Mel would have still been on the show. But they were so competitive and wanted to push her out and see where things went. So now Mel is no longer on the show and the show is not doing well. But as a woman, can you imagine having to go to the doctors to get yourself checked out to make sure you ain't caught anything in general? Wow. Honestly, that is a very, very horrible, horrific experience that I don't wish on my worst enemy. Like having to go to the doctors to go and check and see if your man has given you something. Like I was watching this lady that I follow on socials, and she was talking about how she found out her man was on the DL. And was actually having a full-blown affair with a man, and and I think he also even gave her an STD. Luckily, it's not an incurable one, but I just felt so horrified for her. Like, imagine you're laying down with a man, laying next to a man constantly, you don't know he's DL, and then he's even doing things and not even protecting himself, and then brings something home to you that could have caused you serious problems. Luckily, you caught it, and as in when I say you caught it, like you knew about it. As soon as you knew about it, you were able to get checked and get treatment for it, and it wasn't something that was a lifelong issue or something that could have been cured easily. But what if it was something that couldn't have been cured, that could have changed the trajectory of her life, just because she was married to somebody who could not keep it in their pants? That is horrible. I don't know how Martell thought Mel was going down on him, and he was going raw in another vagina, just nasty. Ooh, yep, there was no way. And I don't blame her, because it's like, why would anyone want to go down on your nasty ass when they know that you don't keep it in your pants? Absolutely nasty. Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
Wait, did you just say in another relationship?
Oof. How are you married and in another relationship, sir? But bizarre.
Oh, okay, we're in a relationship.
Because y'all was talking all day, every day just about
Yeah, no, your phone records,
sure did.
investigator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw everything.
How long was it? That's another question I need to know.
I'm pretty sure you know. You
I'm
told me
asking, I
how
don't
long?
care. I'm asking you though.
A year.
Y'all only
You're still lying? Mm-mm-mm.
talk. So you're still lying.
No, I'm.
You see? The thing is, if he was truly repentant, this is where we should have known that he was a no good for nothing cheat and was not going to change. Think about it. He was still lying when he had the opportunity to just come clean and just say, "Do you know what? It went on for this long." He was still lying about it yet again. And that's the thing. When these people don't want to change, they still be lying. Even the ones that want to change or don't want to change, you know, even if he doesn't lie and tells you, that doesn't mean he wants to change. But it's obvious that he doesn't want to change if he is out here still lying about how long it was. Just saying.
But it's irrelevant. I don't talk to her anymore.
The only relevancy is if you're still lying to me. See, we can't move forward
Okay, we
if
talked
we
for
don't
2
put
years.
all cards on the table.
We talked for 2 years.
That's a long time, Martell Holt. Now, here's my other concern: is every time I mention or say something, why is it that?
This is the thing. Martell feels like, even though I cheated, you need to bury under the rug and move on. And it's like, imagine, do you know how much you have shattered her trust in you? Imagine someone thinking like, my man is faithful, everything is good with us, we're getting along so well, only to find out that this man was cheating and you had no idea. It changes something in you where you feel like you can't really trust him. So he needs to be making the effort to show that you can. Instead, this man is out here acting like he's fed up of the fact that you keep asking him questions. Marceau, Chris, and Martell was talking. Marceau asked Martell, "Do you think you will ever be able to work with Mel?" The question should have been, Mel, is Mel going to work with him? Which was a no. Yep, that is so true. He had the nerve to have 2 phones. Martell is broke, and that's why he missed the court date for the kids. I think well, I guess yeah, you're probably right, because maybe that's why he was like, I'm gonna just go to work and make some money. Maybe that's all that was about.
This during
Because
their
this
wedding
is-
day.
well, because
I know
this
it's
is what
beautiful out here, but you talking about
this-
something
because
negative.
this
We
is
should,
what-
we should be hugging and kiss. Look,
Hey, Martell, I'm so sorry.
building
Martell,
some of these
Martell.
80, $100 million buildings. That's something we
Martell,
need to be talking about.
Martell, I really don't think you understand how much you hurt me. See, in my mind, I'm thinking.
That man is a narcissist. The way he just wants to keep that perfect image. He wants to keep the image that he's this perfect person that he never did nothing wrong. And she's out here hurt. It's like, this is your wife, right? You should be thinking, okay, my wife is hurt. Let me address her concerns. Let's try to resolve it. Let me try to assure her that this is not going to happen again. Instead, this man is over here trying to deflect. And that's why it's so hard, especially with people like cheating. I don't think people understand the gravity of cheating. Maybe because I feel like a lot of people have normalized cheating a lot, that certain people just don't think cheating is that deep. But it's like cheating breaks your partner. It breaks your partner's trust. It brings up insecurities in them. They're probably thinking like, am I enough for you? Because why did you go out and why did you step out? And so the fact that he did not even have enough empathy for what he put his wife through, instead, he felt like his wife was bringing shame to him by talking about his indiscretions. That is crazy. Shanice says 214 says cheating is a massive blow on multiple levels: mental, emotional, physical, all the things, and it's spirit breaking. Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more. It's life altering. It's like the person that you sleep next to can no longer be trusted. You know how it's like you're grieving your partner whilst you're still in that relationship. You're grieving the trust that you once had. Now you're feeling insecure. Now you don't feel like you're enough. These are the things that I feel like he just doesn't or never understood. And instead was always trying to rush her off the subject. Always seemed annoyed by any time she wanted to talk about it. Martell didn't even look the same. Airline done went further back. Those suits aren't looking right. Miss Van knew Martell was no good. Absolutely. Mothers be seeing it. Most mothers can clock it from a mile away. They see those signs. Tonya says Mel always tried to bring this along with her so they could have gotten all the connections she knew, but they were so jealous of her they couldn't see past being jealous of her. Yes, they really couldn't. It's like everything that Mel wanted, they wanted. But it wasn't like they wanted to eat with her, they wanted to eat at the expense of her. They wanted to eat and kick her out of where she's eating. And think about how amazing Love and Marriage Huntsville could have been if Mel was still there. And if they actually supported Mel as a really good cast. Imagine if everyone was doing their thing, Mel was doing, Mel was feeling supported. The show could have been so good. But they had to ruin it because they just wanted to push Mel out. They wanted her spot. And that is such a sad thing. It's like you wanted her spot, but none of you can do what she does. You wanted her spot, but you can never be vulnerable the way she's vulnerable. So of course, even if you want that spot, you're never gonna have that spot. Bajam said he wanted Mel to be quiet like Rasputia Jr. and low libido, but that didn't happen. Absolutely. He definitely wanted that. But it's like, if that's the kind of wife you want, then marry a Kimmy. Marry a Tisha. Don't marry a woman that is high achieving, knows what she wants, has a good head on her shoulders, knows her value. There's no way a woman like that would stay with you whilst you're out here cheating all up in the streets. Never. Impossible. No woman of substance will allow you to continue to embarrass them publicly like that and continue to stay with you. Never. Mobessa says, before Mel married Hotel, I can't remember who the lady was, but she told Mel Martell was cheating, but she didn't believe it because he convinced Mel it wasn't true. I believe she married him at 22. Yes, absolutely. I think it wasn't the publicist that Martell had at one time trying to make it seem like she never did nothing with Martell, and then it turned out that she had also slept with Martell or something. And then I think that was the last time we saw her because she was also married. So I don't know. Maybe that's who you're referring to. But yeah, it does ring a bell that there was somebody who was saying that they did bring it to Melody, but Mel did not believe. I think it was that publicist. I can't remember what her name was. but I know that she was trying to make it seem that she never did a thing with Martell, and then Martell flipped it on her, and Martell basically said that, yeah, since high school or something like that, and it was like, yo, not you exposing that you guys had a thing in high school. Martell could not just follow the script. Kimberly was a side chick. Martell knew it. That's why Marcel knew it. That's why he told Martell, and Martell told Mel. He should have divorced Mel a long time and married Peasant, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, there's no way. He knows. Like, for even no matter how stupid and crazy he acts, he knew Mel's value, but he was hoping to be able to eat his cake and have it too. No wife wants another woman in the screen knowing her husband in a way that only a wife should know her husband. You cannot be out here cheating and then wanting extra activities from your wife. Absolutely. Like, your wife cannot know that your mouth has been in other places and still want you to put that mouth on her and other things, right? She's not going to want to do all of that, knowing fully well that you have done things with other people. Right? It's not that easy. Nanny of the Maroons, yes, it was Melnika. Yes, that's exactly what her name was. You're right. The girl at the book signing, that's the one he slept with. He was helping out with the wedding. Mel fired her. Yeah, I think that was Melnika. That used to be his publicist. Leoncy says Martel never loved Mel, just the perks. I don't even think Martel is capable of loving anybody. I don't get the vibe that he is capable of loving anybody. I don't think he has it in him to love anybody. Yeah. Sad, but that's what I think.
That you and I are Mr. Mrs. Power
I'm
couple,
sorry,
whatever.
are we not? I was a good man. I was still producing. I was still taking care of the.
Did you hear this, man? I was a good man. I was the producer. Not the producer. What were you producing, sir? What were you producing? And what makes you think you were a good man? You were not faithful to your wife. That's not a good man. Right? And this is why I feel like low-key, Martel just has this image in his head. It's like he has created a facade of who he is. I'm a good father. I'm a good this. I'm a good that. And no matter what the evidence is, the evidence could be showing that that's not who he is, but that's the delusion that he has created in his head, and he's going to stick to it.
Kids, I still
Martell,
take care of the house.
you hurt me to the depths
I
of
know,
my
I'm
soul
sorry for
because
that.
the biggest thing for me with this whole thing was the disrespect that came with it. I answer your phone and somebody says to me, I didn't call your phone, put Martell on the phone. You should have.
You hear that? It's not just the cheating, it's the disrespect. And this is the thing that I feel like everyone was trying to tell Martell, is the disrespect. That's the big thing. Right? It's one thing it's the disrespect. And that's why I feel like Martell just was not acting like a man. A man would have curbed that ish a long time ago. A man that really cared about his wife and truly loved his wife would have been like, don't you ever in your life ever open your mouth to speak to my wife again. That would have been what he would have done. But this man, and that's why it's like, low-key, he secretly hated Mel. There's no way he didn't secretly hate Mel, because if he truly loved Mel, he would have not let Arian disrespect Mel the way Arian did. That's just the reality of the situation. For those who have just come in, thank you so much for joining. Please hit that like button. It's a free way to support the channel. Hit that like button and share so the people know that we are live. Please and thank you.
Checked right then and said, hold on, who the you think you're talking to? That's my wife.
couldn't you ran
Don't
off with my
talk to
phone,
my
I'm
wife.
sorry. You
But
didn't give me my phone.
sweetheart, it was on.
You see? Acting like a little bee. He's just there like, yeah, but you wear excuses.
Speaker, I said, Martell, say something. Say something, Martell. You didn't
The fact that your wife even told you to say something and you said nothing tells us everything that we need to know.
say not one word.
I'm sorry, I'm not accustomed to that situation.
You heard.
He said, I'm sorry, I'm not accustomed to that situation. So you would rather your side chick have the audacity to speak to your wife in some type of way and say, "Oh, I'm not accustomed to that situation." Are you serious, sir? Absolutely ridiculous.
Heard your girlfriend get smart with your wife on the phone. You never took up for me or defended me. Ever.
I mean, why am I defending you?
Like saying
This man said, "Why am I defending you? That is your wife to love and to hold and to protect, sir." Not this man saying out of his mouth, "Why am I defending you?" I don't know how I missed that. I never heard that before. But this man said out of his bloody mouth, "Why am I defending you?" The fact that he doesn't even see a problem with someone being disrespectful to his wife and the need to have to step in is beyond shocking to me. He thought she would crumble without him and was mad she excelled instead. Yep, I agree. He definitely thought that she was going to struggle, and she showed him that with God on her side, she can do all things. Did Martell think by changing his outside baby mama's name that he would be able to get some of Mel's money? Mm-mm-mm. Who knows, honestly? Who knows?
something to your wife saying, don't say nothing to my wife.
I
That
did.
kind of stuff.
I did.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. You stood there in silence.
Mel, that's
Exactly. You stood there in silence and let someone talk about your wife. Punk ass ninja. Numb digger.
the first phone call,
So
babe.
how did I end up having 3-4 other conversations with her later on?
But you
Yep. Watch him turn it into her fault now.
went to her.
Sweetheart, you must don't remember when she called my phone. Is there anything you can do to keep your husband from following in behind me? Because every time I change my number, he calls me.
Do you know how disrespectful it is for a wife to be silently at home and then having to be getting a call from the side chick saying that nonsense? Mm-mm-mm. I don't know any woman that would tolerate that, Martell. Yeah, there are some dudes who love parts of the woman that make him look good, but that doesn't mean he really loves the woman, just the perks. Yes, I completely agree with you, Shanice. I feel like that's the impression I get. He loved the access to high society that he had with Mel. He loved the opportunities, being able to go into different places, rub shoulders with the who is who of Huntsville. Um, access, really, access, popularity, all those different things that he got from just being married to her. Remember, she used to do a lot of those talks. She still does talks, but she used to have like a lot of talks and stuff. Yeah, she still gets a lot of talks, to be fair. But yeah, this kind of talks, and then Martell would be there. She'll talk about like her, she'll say thank you to her husband. He had access. People saw them as a unit. They saw them as the mover and the shaker. It wasn't like they just saw Melody, they saw Melody and Martell. They felt like the Holts, right? They saw them as a unit doing all these amazing things together, even though Melody was basically the one behind the whole thing. And so those were some of the perks that I feel like he got out of it. Um, but yeah, but I don't necessarily think that he as an individual was capable of loving anybody. I don't even think he loves his own self. So there's no way he has any capabilities of loving anybody. When Martel said, "Why am I defending you?" I knew he was on the yellow bus. No disrespect to the kids who ride. Honestly, yeah. The fact that he did not know he needed to defend his wife was the most shocking thing I've seen today. I don't remember seeing that from season 1, but maybe I forgot. But I'm just like, really? You don't feel like you have to defend your wife? Like, you have to protect her from every and any outside influence. Protect her from stress, protect her from like disrespect. The fact that he didn't even know that that was his job was so shocking to me. Absolutely so shocking to me. not taking up for Martell, but he never took on the protector role in the marriage. He was the little rambunctious BAN that was always protected by Mel. He never learned how to be the protector. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is a very, very interesting perspective. And I wonder if that also stems from his childhood where he was always protected by other people and never really had to protect anybody else, and he just got to do anything that he wanted to do without being held accountable, because I think he definitely has problems with accountability, does not even know his role in a relationship, which is so weird for somebody that is always saying he's such a good man. It's like, if you're such a good man, sir, don't you realize that protecting, professing, and providing are your roles as a man in a relationship? Like, the fact that he didn't know that is very, very shocking to me. Shanice says, right, it is the disrespect, the boldness to talk to taught the wife while sleeping with her husband. Oh yeah, to talk to the wife while sleeping with her husband and him not checking the side chick about it. Exactly. It's like just complete audacity. Completely obvious that that man does not care about nobody but himself. He does not protect his wife. Absolutely bananas. And that's crazy. He didn't respect Melody at all. He did not. He did not respect Melody. He did not respect himself. He did not. He did not. I like the episode when you said, "Hey, babe, what are you wearing?" Because, we got to coordinate. She told him, "I'm over the coordinating." Mel went to a closet and said, "Bye, Martell Holt." Yes, absolutely. I'm with you on that. I remember watching that and I thought, yep, definitely, definitely. She's like, "I'm not coordinating with your A because you still want to be seen publicly with me like we are a united front out here matching when you can't even keep it in your pants, you know?" So, yeah, I'm glad she shot that down really quickly. And he stood at the closet telling her about what he was going to pick. All you heard was silence. Yeah, that made me laugh as well, to be honest. Miss Marlene pissed me off as well. Yeah, what did Miss Marlene do to you? I'm curious. Let me know in the chat, Mobessa.
That's what she said.
Oh, okay.
And I told her I have no pity or mercy on anybody who wants to sleep with somebody else's husband. Figure it out.
Okay, babe. You're looking angry right now. You don't gotta relive that.
What you did was the ultimate betrayal. People knew.
No.
You think this mouth was so closed tight
my
that
God.
she wasn't saying? That's a lie. And quit defending her. You're still defending her. After that, Martell.
Yep. It's like with everything, you're still defending her. I think my favorite bit was when Melody said to keep it in the pants, but I don't know if she's going to say it soon.
You had me going to somebody's doorstep at 2 in the morning, confronting them about being with my husband.
You didn't have to go out and do that stuff.
I didn't
Imagine him saying you didn't have to go out and do that. So how about you didn't have to go out and cheat, idiot?
have to.
No,
I'm saying
you didn't have to go and tell the entire city what your
Oh, you
husband
think I
did.
told the entire city?
You made it.
Can you imagine? This man is flipping it on her, talking about you decided to tell the entire city what he was. No, your actions of stepping out has told the entire city that you're a good for nothing man. Like, I don't understand how it's her fault. Honestly, this is making me annoyed by Martell all over again. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably not having the desired effect. If anything, I'm more pissed at Martell than I ever was.
What about going to tell everybody instead of keeping it in our house? If your husband do anything wrong, I don't care if I slept with 1,000 people. You don't go out and tell people. We keep that in our household.
You should have kept your peace.
Did you hear that? He doesn't even care if he sleeps with 1,000 people. You don't tell nobody. You keep that in our household. So guess what Mel says? This is my favorite bit. This is my favorite bit. Watch the facial expressions as well, because Mel is about to blast him. Okay?
It's in our household.
You should have kept your penis in our household. Okay? And I'm with Mel on that. You should have kept it in the household, sir. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to let's try here.
And important things.
What was that?
So Dr. Francis was basically asking him about like what they spoke about previously. And this man is like, what was that? I'm like, that is a man that ain't ready to change nothing. He is not ready to change. Miss Marlene called Mel lazy. Did she think Martha was smarter? Mel was having babies and still was making it happen. Absolutely. And to be honest, the thing about Miss Marlene is I feel like what she was saying and repeating was what she heard Martell say. Because I don't think she was over there at Mel and Martell's house all of the time to know that Mel was the money making melody. She was the one going out and working. She's probably thinking because she hears her son talk about, oh, she's been laying in bed all day, or she's tired, or she's this, or she's that, and just thought, okay, she does not do anything. It's Martell that is always doing stuff, when that's not the reality. Instead, she's busy. Martell is not doing enough at work, so she's picking up the slack, all of those different things. So I think for the most part, yes, I get that Miss Merlin did not handle it well, but I also have some grace for her because I feel like she was believing what her silly son told her. I want to know where Marlene is living now because did Mel stop paying for the house she was in? Yep. That's the thing. They be so mean to their daughter-in-laws and not be talking great about their daughter-in-laws, only to find out that their daughters-in-law have been the one that was supporting them and taking care of them the whole time. I bet she's sad. She's upset now. She must be. I was waiting for that iconic line. Honestly, that line, you should have kept your penis in the household. That line eats every time. It eats every single time. Not gonna lie. She absolutely was. Miss Merlin's house is gone, and the house Martha and Mel had is gone as well. She wanted to have it both ways, have a thrill on the side and still be married. He wanted to have it both ways, have a thrill on the side and still be married, be disrespectful and get sex on him, and exactly that. And it's like, you can't do all of that. If you want to still be able to do that on the side, choose a side chick that ain't gonna talk. And make sure there is a respect for your wife. Mel's house is beautiful. Absolutely it is. So the house when Pauper went to collect the children and he was rude to Miss Van, that house is gone. Yeah, I believe, wasn't that the family house? Martha wasn't defending coleslaw. He just realized that he could hurt and control Mel when he acts like he's putting coleslaw above her. Knacks love triangulations. Absolutely. I think that's exactly what he was doing. It's the same way that he loves to be able to go and report to Mel, oh, the Scots are saying something about you, just to be able to get a reaction and then transfer that so that she can have venom or that energy for the Scots. So Knox do things like that. They definitely like to pit people against each other. How could she believe her lying son? They didn't have anything until Mel came along. That's another good point, Better. You are coming in tonight with all the good points. Not gonna lie.
Oh, you forgot?
What was it?
Okay, your behavior with other women, or at least another woman.
Oh, okay. We almost over that hump. We're trying to get over that hump.
Yeah, but did you talk it through?
Yes.
Melody, he's saying we're almost over the hump.
I ain't even up half one side of the hump yet.
Melody is like, Martell is in denial. He feels like I'm over the hump. I'm not over the hump. How about that?
So we are on two different pieces of the hump.
90% of the things that I do in life is good. That little 10%, I know, that was wrong. Period. And I'm over it.
Tell him what it felt like during the time of cheating. Just really tell him.
I know how it felt.
No. If you know, it seems to me.
This man is saying, I know how it felt. How do you know how it felt? Were you the one that was on the receiving end? And this is what I mean by every time the cheating is brought up, he can't stand it. It's almost like, dude, well, you cheated, sir. Why are you so pressed by the truth? Why does the truth hurt you so much?
That you don't want to hear it again. If you're going to move forward, you're going to have to consider being more vulnerable as opposed to being so protective of Martell. Tell him.
Exactly. Mr. Francis or Dr. Francis clocked it. He is acting so protective of Martell, but you're not protecting your wife. You're not protecting the sanctity of your marriage. You're not protecting nothing. All you're protecting is your reputation. You don't want people to know that you were out here cheating. And it's just like, you don't want people knowing that you're out here cheating, but you were out here publicly cheating. Like, bro, what are you doing? Marlene, not the drinking machine, knows that Martell is a low-down, dirty scoundrel. She tolerates his behavior because of guilt. She was being a 304 instead of raising and protecting her children. Allegedly. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. I heard grandma raised him. She didn't do a good job. Wow. Not the grandma. So, yeah.
It made me want to put a wall up. I felt like the person who was supposed to be my partner was more like my enemy now because I felt like I had to try to protect myself. And it made me feel like you didn't care enough about me, who've been there with you since day one, to put me first and my feelings first. You put self first.
Melody is so articulate. Do you see the way she put that in words? And Martell was just out here scrambling. But it is true. It's like sleeping with the enemy, really. My favorite word from Mel was dissolved. Yep. I couldn't believe when Martell said he saw Tisha's vajayjay. Tisha said that was in college. I know, that is just the weirdest thing. Weirdest thing. It's like, what were y'all doing in college, honey? I definitely did not have the same college experience some of y'all did. Because what the hell? Then she did that Tuesday talk and said it was a lie. Yeah, I definitely do not know what people were over there doing, but no.
And that's not what relationship and marriage is about. Martell has done nothing to convince me that I should still be at the house. I'm still staying at a friend's house. He blows my phone up all the time about nonsense. So I just cut off all communication unless it has something to do with the kids or business. And now here he is following me while I'm headed to Tisha's podcast.
Yep, and I feel like I really wanted to show this and then we move on. But I really wanted to show this bit because I feel like this already shows that obsessive nature of Martell that a lot of us may have missed earlier in the season. But look at it. He basically followed her. So let me just fast forward to when he started speaking.
He's not his blue. Go. You can do what you got to do.
I've been trying to have a conversation with you every day to see where we stand. I don't know if I'm gonna get those divorce papers in the mail any day.
I said it'll be next week when they get to you.
Seriously.
Seriously.
So is our marriage over first?
Yes, it is.
Look at him. So is our marriage over? Like, yes, it is.
Countdown started 4 years ago.
Oh, the countdown.
And she's like, the countdown started 4 years ago. I'm sure 4 years was probably when she first found out he was cheating.
4 years ago.
This is exactly what you said on your post. Hashtag the countdown started 4 years ago. And I ain't even.
And then look at him looking so stressed. It's like, so now you're stressed. When you were out here doing whatever you wanted to do, you know, it was all good. But now you're looking stressed. You're looking stressed, mate. Is everything good?
In my own house because your black ass refused to get out. Shame on you.
What?
Shame on you. You haven't said,
Okay.
hey, man.
Hey, I'm about to go. I'll talk to him later.
Yeah. No, don't talk to me.
Won't you answer your phone, though?
What
Just
you
in case
calling me
they
for?
I got 10 texts in there to respond.
What do they say? Hello, call me.
Yes.
I need you to watch the kids.
Yes.
No, then you, because here's the thing. Ain't you claiming that you're the great father of the year?
You see? Did you hear that? Didn't you say you were the great father of the year? And this is the thing. That's definitely a whole act that he has been pushing. Father of the year. You know, imagine the father of the year does not go to the court hearing, but instead goes to a reunion. Great father, isn't it?
provider. You all this.
Why are you talking so loud? You see where you are?
You're such a
Do you see
good
where
man.
you
You
are?
followed me here
Yes, but
and came
still,
and started a
you
conversation
don't have
with
to
me.
get all
You
irate.
said you're such a good man. You're a
Of
great
course.
father and all this, and your wife don't appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. So now don't be bugging me.
Love you, Melody.
Shut up, Martell. Because everything is a lie.
Yep. Everything about you is a lie. Is a liar. I remember this episode. I know it's definitely bringing back memories. Is the father still in prison? The brother ended up back inside as well. No hope for the Holts. Destiny pissed me off as well. How's she getting back to Martell telling Mel every move? Absolutely. But that's the thing. I feel like Destiny is given Mel identified. So whatever it is that she needs to do to continue to be in the good books of Martell, for reasons best known to her, she will continue to do it, in my opinion. Melody is correct. He should have kept his penis in the household and should. Destiny getting her karma, though Leberick is taking her through it. Sis. Leberick is not letting up at all. I don't even know how far that's going to get, but it's not letting up. I don't know what's always going on in the Huntsville legal system. It just feels like anyone can take cases and continue to drag things back to court. Like it's a bit extreme, I'm not gonna lie. Mattel has stated he make more money. He's stated he makes more money than a doctor. So why the heck is your brother still in jail? The kids are like step close in age, and she's running the business that takes care of the household while her husband is cheating. So how is it that Mel is lazy? His mother is delusional. Absolutely, completely agree. Very delusional she is. Because it's like, and also like, yeah, just because you come there and she's resting, yeah, she's tired because she's been doing stuff. She's been working hard. You know, it's not easy dealing with a man like Martell. Of course, she's tired. Merlene's mother knew that her son wasn't crap. Mothers like that know who they are raising. Yeah, I think you're right. I think, but they are so used to like defending the whoever it is or their sons that like their sons can never do any wrong. So instead of like holding their sons accountable, they would ride for their sons because they're overcompensating for maybe not being in the lives of their sons or doing something or not being there for their sons when they were young. So they overcompensate that even when it is wrong, even when their sons have done something, they just cannot correct. Doctor liabilities. Yep, they definitely cannot. They cannot correct it. But yeah. So I personally, I'm gonna stop playing the clip. I know we've already played a good chunk of it. Hopefully, we're still covered within that fair use policy. I hope so, because we definitely played a lot of clips. I really do hope we're covered. But what I will say is, I do feel like a lot. For me, my big thing is like, why is OWN deciding to put this on their TV or on their YouTube channel now? That's my question. Because the show has been on a break, right? It's been on a break. It's going to come back from break soon. And is this why they're trying to build up momentum by putting this on the TV? That these are the questions I have, because it's like it's definitely given very, very odd that they're trying to all of a sudden like bring up Melody and Martell. Melody and Martell, bear in mind, they've been divorced for 5 years now. That's 5 whole years since they've been divorced. So it's like if they've been divorced 5 years, how long do you think it has been? It's been a long time. And it's like, why are we still getting a Mel and Martell? Then if you then think about the fact that Melody is no longer even on the show, so it's like, why are they still showing her on their YouTube channel? It's like time has passed. Why are we still showing her on the YouTube channel? That's really what I thought. Like that's really what I find a little bit confusing for me. Martell said Mel never cooked, but then he went to see Maurice and said he missed Mel saying breakfast ready. Can you imagine? That's the thing. People like that can't keep up with their lies. They say something, they mean something else. They say something to try to rationalize why they cheated. But then if you listen and listen good, you realize that it's all lies. It's all to try and make an excuse for why they cheated. Not it's not true, but if they say they cheated on their wife and she didn't do anything, then they sound crazy. So of course he has to keep coming up with all sorts of reasons why he cheated. I don't even think he knows why he cheated. Sorry, I'm drinking some water. On is trying to draw us back in. I'm not watching that show. Exactly. I feel like that's what the strategy is. They're trying to draw us back in, get us to watch the show. It's like, honey, we gonna watch this back, but we are not watching the show still. At least most people are not. Y'all know I'm gonna watch the show because I have to give y'all commentary, but I'm not giving them views. Mel needs to get her lawyer. She is not on the show anymore. Yep. But I don't know. She probably may have signed something where they said they can use the older clips to promote the show. I suspect they would. I don't think she would be able to like get a lawyer for that, to be honest. If it's a new storyline that they're trying to push forward, probably yes. But if it's an old one, then yeah, if it's an old one, then I would say yeah, probably. Marlene really thought her son was the breadwinner. Super says, yeah, I think she really did think that he was the breadwinner. I think he was able to, there are some men that are very good at being able to convince you. They can convince you, they can talk a good game. And I feel like that was what Marlene was experiencing with Martell. I think she really did believe that Mel was not the breadwinner and Martell was. I feel like if she had known the truth, I do suspect that she would have tried as much as possible to make sure or to try to keep Martell on the straight and narrow. Because she would have told him, like, yo, this is how you eat. But because she didn't know all of that, I'm sure she was bigging up his head, talking about, like, you're a good man, you provider, you're this, you work hard. The way she speaks. But yeah. Bajan says, I don't watch anymore. Yeah, don't worry. I watch so you guys don't have to. I watch and I bring you anything that is interesting to talk about. So you guys don't have to. I can't find that episode when Mel moved out and Marceau came over to ask Martell, is your marriage really over? I'm not sure I remember that clip. Tisha was talking to Mel in the kitchen. Oh. Does anyone remember what season that was? So that Mobessa can find it. I don't remember it. That season when they were scrambling about the comeback group and Lily Bido said to Potato Head, we need Mel. I know, that was so funny, but it's like you lot can't do nothing without her. You guys can't get people to show up without her, which is so sad because it's like you guys should have been building your following, your fans to support whatever projects that you have. But it's obvious you guys do not really have like the support that Mel does. Every time Mel puts something out, it is sold out. People really get in there and they're out here really supporting Mel, loving on Mel, paying for her classes, all that stuff. So just like you definitely can really do better. Super says I will never watch the show again. I don't watch the last 2 seasons. I didn't watch the last 2 seasons that Mel was still on there. Yeah, that means you definitely zoned out of the show. You were probably thinking like I'm over it. And because for you to not watch even the last, 2 seasons where Mel was there, you definitely checked out. So you were like, I do not want no parts of this, and I don't blame you. Mabessa says, I would love to know allegedly why Marcel was on his knees waiting for some girl to lick his butthole. Oh my gosh. Do. Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to get the answer to that. Well, let's just say, like you said, allegedly, right? So I don't know if we're ever gonna get some clarity as to whether or not that's the truth. Miss Wanda did say that was not true, but Maso has not come to deny or accept that that is true, so we do not know. But Mel's products are top notch. Absolutely. I've heard great things. I have not tried them yet, but when next I am in the US, I'm going to get a bunch delivered to me. I really can't wait to try it, to be honest. Trish has a strong face. That the extra years that she stayed were about exhausting all possibilities of saving the marriage. So when she did leave, she'll have no regrets. I agree with that. I've had a friend tell me about that as well, and that's how she's always reacted in relationships. She does everything to try to exhaust it so that she never ever has to come back. Um and then if she feels like she's really giving it everything, then at that point she can then decide, you know what, this is not working for me. I'm not going to like continue dealing with this nonsense. So yeah. Better says, I heard Maso is in love with the Coco. Allegedly, okay. Yeah, allegedly is we heard that also allegedly. Whether or not we believe that, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's see if we get more or more credence comes to the rumor. Okay, so we do have. They can keep their dry storyline. They've had how many seasons? Who knows how many seasons they have? Because bear in mind, they always divide their seasons into half and half. So it's hard to keep up with how many seasons it is because of when they come back from that season, they usually call it a new season. So nobody really knows how many seasons it is, to be honest. Okay. Whew. Not me yawning already. Do I need to drink something to wake me up? Okay, so I think let's move on to some other news. We were talking about the Braxtons, so maybe let's start with the Braxtons. Then I do have some comments. I want to show you guys what Dr. Heavenly and Quad had to say about Phaedra Parks. And I do have some Real Housewives of Potomac news. To be honest, I think with the Real Housewives of Potomac, let me see if it's anything worth talking about, because a lot of it are sneak peeks, and I wonder if it's better for us to hold off on talking about the sneak peeks until people can really see it for themselves. Because I think sometimes the problem with sneak peeks is when you watch sneak peeks, it gets to the point where when the show actually does come out, there's barely anything to talk about. So I may leave the sneak peeks out, depending, but let's see how we get on. I always thought Mel was being ill-advised to stay with Martell and work it out, or she would have left him sooner than she did. Yes, I agree, and I will not be surprised if Nell, the counselor, was involved in these conversations, because since she likes to mentor and counsel people, I wonder if she was one of the big counselors trying to make Melody stay in her marriage. But yeah, it definitely does seem like, what else is the reason to stay with a man like that? So yeah, very, very, very odd. Okay, so we did talk about Tama and Tawanda. We did talk about Tawanda getting married, where she wore this sort of purple lavender. Oh my gosh. Like, ugh, why do people do this? If you call me once and I don't pick up, let it go. Oh, calling me 3 times. I'm so sorry, guys. And my thing is on D&D. Like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. My WhatsApp isn't even on or open on this computer. My thing is on D&D. It's actually now on sleep mode, and still I'm getting calls in. Like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. It's like, if you call me once and I don't pick up, like, stop calling me. Anyway, sorry, because now that is starting to now get irritating. But yeah, sorry guys. So to give you guys some context, Gary with the T was asking Tawanda who was missing from the wedding. And let me just play for you guys what she had to say.
The wedding. Now, I don't know who was missing at the wedding. They said, but one person missing from that fabulous wedding. So tell me, honey, so what happened and where do you stand now with that missing person?
Well, may Tracy rest in peace because Tracy was not there. I missed her immensely, and parts of her was definitely a part of the wedding. Like we had hummingbirds everywhere. You'll be able to see it when you watch the show.
I can't wait to see
real hummingbirds.
No, but just because Tracy loved hummingbirds.
Oh, okay.
You know, and she said that she wanted us to get necklaces with her remains in it with hummingbirds, and that's what we do.
And I see y'all wearing those
necklaces.
necklaces.
Yes, everything. We take her everywhere we go. So she was there at the wedding, and it was pretty challenging not having her there because Tracy was always the life of the party, and I was the only girl who never had a wedding. So this was the first time that a sister,
big moment.
had a wedding, and then the sister wasn't there, willingly not wanting to be there. So that was very challenging.
So we're gonna see that on the show, the wedding.
You're definitely gonna see all of that on the show.
Did you wear white?
I can't wear white. I got two children.
Oh, well, girl, people wear white, baby.
I can't wear white. I think my mama was like, you better.
Honestly, the one thing that is really annoying me is this girl's blue and blonde hair. But, if she likes it, I love it.
No, wear white.
So I know Mama eat old school.
Right.
Now was Tamar there?
In spirit.
Okay. But she did do the season of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the first episode.
I did.
But
yeah, it made my nerves bad.
So she's kind of like dodging it a little bit. You can tell that people want to know why Tima isn't there. She's out here talking about her sister Tracy, rest her soul. And now.
Yeah, because I love y'all. Like when I saw Tamar and Tony jumped up in Tamar's face and they both stood up, I was like, oh Lord, like we don't never want to see that. We don't want to see them fighting like that. So I feel like Tony is like the calm one. She's the oldest, so she's like super duper mature. So if she jump up, it's a problem. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a lot, but we had to grow up. Yeah, we all had to grow up in some way, and we all had to create our own boundaries.
Facts.
And I choose peace and joy over anything else in my life.
Amen.
Say that. So, what's something fans?
So she basically said that Tamar was there in spirit, trying to throw a little bit of shade, and then Tamar basically heard an interview, and I'm trying to keep it cute, but if you say one more lie to liar instead of Tawanda, I'ma empty out the clip. It's like, girl, say it. Like me, I don't like when people threaten to say stuff. Like if you're gonna say it, just say it. Say it. Just come out and just say it with your chest. But it gets worse. So then, Brat, remember the Brat, right? Then posts this on her page, saying Tamar and Birdman were briefly in a relationship around 2003. Okay? 2003. It is important to distinguish Tamar Braxton from her sister Toni Braxton, who also had a high-profile relationship with Birdman in later years. So, who had him first? This is so weird to me. Who had him first? Like, and Birdman of all people? That is so weird. Let's see what the people are saying. Not much. Lord, why does everyone have to enter the chat? Yeah, but honestly, it is quite weird because it's like, Did you like so?
There was somebody.
So are we saying that Tamar had a relationship with Birdman before Birdman got with Tony? Like, this is so weird to me. What says they are Tamar's friends? Super. But oh, so do you think they're trying to defend Tamar in this situation by posting the timing? Okay, that's interesting. Tawanda is gaslighting. Yep, Tawanda is definitely good at that. She knows how to act prim and proper, and underneath the whole thing, she is probably doing some crazy things to you, but like she just knows how to hide it nicely. She definitely gives, that's the impression she gives. I will say that. That's the impression I get every time I think about how sort of like Tawanda tends to navigate like her family, her sisters, you know. Okay, so let's move on to Heavenly and Quad.
Somebody was notably missing from the reunion show, and notably had some comments about y'all. Phaedra called, quote, demonic minions of hell and trash, talking about the cast.
Well, you know what? I am running for Congress, so I love Phaedra.
So now she's talking about she's running for Congress, so she loves Phaedra. I'm just like, are we still talking about this? How long has it been? I guess it's their press run, so they got to talk about whatever it is that's brought up. But then for me, it's looky like this is being brought up now. After how long? It's been so long. It's been at least a year. So why is this still a conversation?
She's a very decent and honorable woman that that you need to listen to sometimes when she's telling the truth. So at that point, I'm just gonna give it to quiet because I don't have anything good to say.
But was she telling the truth?
No, she was not. She was not. We I think that Phaedra had met her match over here and she couldn't handle it. That's
So she feels like Phaedra met a match and couldn't handle it. I personally don't necessarily think that Phaedra wouldn't have been able to handle it. I just don't think the synergy between the girlies was seamless. I think Phaedra has always been a Housewives of Atlanta girly. I think they forced her to be on Married to Medicine because they wanted to find a way to still have her on Bravo, because Bravo love Phaedra. But to be completely honest, I definitely don't think that Phaedra was running from the Married to Medicine folk as Heavenly wants to believe.
That's all that was. And I'm just saying that just to say it. She could not compete. I think she's used to people being different. And when she got here, she couldn't handle us.
Why?
We too much bosses for her.
What's that, sweetheart? What's that, baby? What I would love for you guys to do for all your luxury car rentals, go ahead and go down to ATL Exotic and Luxury Car.
So I'm guessing Quad is still with her man because she's out here plugging the man for his luxury car rentals. So she's out here plugging him.
Right, what is it? ATL for your proms. Yeah, ATL Exotic and Luxury Car Rentals for your proms and your weddings and all the things. That's what I'm gonna tell the people they should do. They got all type of nice cars. They got Ferraris and everything down there. They got Rolls Royces and all the things down there.
It's stars on the ceiling. I just noticed the stars.
But you know what? But I love Phaedra and I love you ladies. And
I love how the person hosting and asking the question was like, I love Phaedra and I love you ladies. She's like, all right, let's bring it back because this seems to be escalating quickly. Let's just bring it all the way back.
Wish it would have worked between you
She's a
all.
great lady. No hard feelings at all. Seriously.
Well, I
Yeah,
gotta
she's
say
wonderful.
this.
It's interesting she says she's a great lady. I don't know if she's just being like, intentionally like salacious or intentionally trying to, be sarcastic. Because interestingly enough, people that have met Phaedra tend to say like she's pretty nice, like she's a nice lady. So I do think it's quite interesting that language that is being used. That's why I wonder about like, oh, is that really, is it really like sort of like, is it that she's a nice lady? Like what the issues really,
I'm glad she's where she's at, and I think she's happy.
Yeah. And I wanted to piggyback off that. I think things will work if you want to be there. If you come in with an exit strategy, then your heart is not in there anyways. So that's just, and I mean, that's in all relationships.
And we're not mad at it at all.
So I guess Quad is trying to say that she basically was planning on living married to medicine anyway and was trying to go to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, I agree. Like Phaedra the plan was never really for her. This is my opinion. Plan was never really for her to be on Married to Medicine forever. I think it was more to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but find a way to get on to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think that's all it was. Super says they tried to play in Phaedra's place. That's why Phaedra put more money than all of them for the charity. I agree. I feel like they were definitely trying to play in Phaedra's face. They were trying to act like Phaedra was broke. And Phaedra is like, I am not broke. I have multiple businesses. What is a charity or me writing a check for a charity going to cost me, baby? You know, and I love how she handled that. Say what you want, but Phaedra be in that bag, okay? And so I feel like they definitely did try to play in her face. The way everything was handled with the charity, you can tell that they were hoping that she wouldn't make enough money and she wouldn't write a check and all of that. But in the end, Phaedra paid for the whole thing, really. Like she paid for most of it when, she wasn't able to raise as much as they wanted to raise. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
She served her purpose.
Okay, good, yeah.
So she served her purpose. Okay, Heavenly. Interestingly enough, for someone running for council, she seems to be getting a lot of press runs lately about Married to Medicine. I would have thought it would be more about you running, and that would be more of the press runs that you would be getting, but maybe I don't know enough about politics to be able to answer that. Okay, let's see. Anything else that is interesting to talk about? Yeah, I don't really think there's anything like special to talk about. Tony saying her and Birdman were friends for 25 years. I don't really think that's anything interesting to add. Let me just see if there's anything that I should have added. And there's one clip that I feel like, since we're on the subject of that, maybe let me get that from the Bravo Shade Room and show you guys that. I think it was definitely given the new season of Real Housewives of Potomac is going to be lovely, because it's like everything is like, yeah, it's a little spicy, I'm gonna say that. So this is where I feel like I needed Angel to have brought this energy later, but it seems that Angel needed a little bit of maybe liquid courage if she was drinking to be able to address this publicly. It was just very, very weird, but it was fun at the same time. We got to see a different side of Angel.
Okay, Wendy's asking the next. Go ahead. Angel.
Love it.
So excited.
If you could kill anyone
Girl, why are you asking that
in this
question?
group, who would you kill?
That's not an answer or drink. I'll answer.
Okay.
In this moment, Giselle.
Oh, she said in this moment, Giselle. Okay. In this moment, Giselle. Look at everyone. Everyone was so proud of Angel. Like, yes, stand up for yourself. You've let this lady play in your face and call you a catfish. So, yeah, speak up for yourself. Not Giselle trying to look innocent like, what did I do? I'm like, honey, you called this lady a catfish. You said she does not look like her pictures now. And you're right, yes. But is it any hurtful? Yes. Nobody wants to feel like they're a catfish. Tony just recently said they were friends for 16 years. So it's like, is it 16? Is it 25? Like, which one is it? so weird.
I'm dead. Shots fired. You're dead. Shots fired. I was so nice to you, and then you called my ass catfish.
Yep, I love it. And then I love the fact that she stood up and she's like, no, we're going to address this, honey. I love it. I feel like it's nice to have her stand in her truth for a change. I just wish she had done this earlier. I wish she had done this earlier with the girls, because now it just seems like you have like too much of a, mellow energy in public with a bunch of people, and but then now it's a smaller group, and now you've drank a little something maybe, and now you want to be like, yeah, you finna kill Giselle. So it's just a little bit weird, to be honest. But I definitely prefer this angel to the angel that was sitting still and quiet whilst Giselle had the audacity to say what Giselle was saying. I do feel like she seems to have more of a delayed response to things. I think she is a brooder. One of those people where you do something to them and it takes them a minute to catch up. They have to like brood on whatever it is that you said first, think about it deeply before they then finally address or respond. I hope Angel keeps that energy when Kate is around. Yep, I hope so too. I hope so too. Also, is if there's anyone who wants to be a moderator as well, if you want to join the team of mods, so far I only have Tommy as my mod. So if you want to be a mod as well, let me know in the chat. By the way.
I'm happy to be killed by Angel because at least it told us she has a pulse.
Did you hear Giselle? Giselle said, I'm happy to be killed by Angel because at least that shows that she has a pulse. I fear, but Giselle ate that. Giselle definitely ate that. But I will say it was nice to see Angel having a bit of fun. And it's so weird because it's like Kay went to sleep and Angel is out here having fun. So is it that Kay's energy really determines how Angel shows up? Like, is it one of those things where like when Kay isn't there, she's like so happy and fun, but when Kay is there, she mirrors whatever energy Kay has and towards specific people? I wonder if that's what it is. It's like, girl, let your head down and chill. Have fun.
You gotta at least be honest. So yeah, if you want to kill me, yay. Okay, Wendy's.
I absolutely loved it, I'll be honest. But yeah. Let's do.
So is the idea that you decide whether you're going to tell the truth or drink tequila? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Wendy. Yes. Have you ever been attracted to a woman sexually? Oh my gosh, that's what
Yes. Ooh. Wendy was like, yes. And the way everyone is like, Super is like, how do you be a mod? Normally, I should be able to give you like permission or something to become a mod. Although, like in the past, I just thought you would be able to like, yeah, I think I should be able to give you like permission or give someone permission. If anyone wants to be a mod, give permission to become a mod. And then usually what happens is like if there's any like I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, like usually I should be able to give permission to become a mod. Um, I'm wondering how I'm going to be able to do it. If you want to be a mod, if you let me know, then I'll see how I can figure out how to do it, to be honest. Because yeah, it'll be helpful to know. I'm not quite sure. Normally on StreamYard, I can literally just click and it just says, do you want to be a mod or whatever. But here, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'll do it on my phone and see if that works. Oh yes, I can easily do it on my phone. Just in front of my phone now, it does ask me if I want to add somebody as a moderator. So yeah, I can do it with my phone. So let me know if you want to be a mod, and then I'll put you as one of the mods as well. Yeah, it's just helpful for like, especially like times where you know, maybe Tommy is not available, and you're in the chat, just to help us in terms of just like saying hi to people, you know, asking people about likes and stuff, and you know, getting people to like respond in comments, or responding to people in the chat.
It was the stripper at Stadium Nightclub in DC. She was so bad. She had braces. I don't know why I thought that was so.
She had braces. Oh my god. Well, I guess sometimes like you really be like feeling like, oh, you know, crushes are so weird. The person may not necessarily be like your type, but then you be out here thinking like, oh, they're so cute, and then crushes are the weirdest thing, honestly.
Yes, it was gorgeous. If you have a confession, because the question you asked Wendy, I wish you would ask me, because I have always had this crazy crush on Rachel Maddow.
This is what I mean. Crushes are the weirdest thing. See how this lady is like. See how this lady is out like this. This was her crush. Like, yeah, like crushes are the weirdest thing, honestly.
I mean, you know who I know. You said I just think she's very wishy. I like her. She can have my number. Okay, I'm gonna say Jess. Okay, let's go, Ash. Okay. Do you wholeheartedly believe? So is he?
Ashley with the questions, honey. Ashley is asking what the people want to know. Ashley is out here just asking what the people want to know, honey.
Wholeheartedly believe that there is no infractions that are happening. You mean cheating with Darius? Oh, apparently no. Were there infractions in the past? Absolutely. Okay. I think we're still we're scratching our heads. He's a great father to two boys that were both either there or already created before me. But if Jazzy can accept it and move on, then by golly, it's good enough for me. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I feel like Real Housewives of Potomac, it's kind of like a fun girl hangout thing, because I don't think that they have there really isn't anything more that they're bringing to the show, if I'm being completely honest. It feels very like, where are the storylines? Like, I do love Tia's family, and I would love to see more of Tia's family, but aside that, it's like, it just gives like there's no storyline, and we're just like all hanging out and, you know, doing the most. Really, that's what it's given. Let's see.
Okay, get perfect. Let's go. That big booty you got, girl. Happy birthday.
Okay, so they're singing for me.
Yeah.
Look at Kay. Look at Kay.
Good night. All right, ladies. It's been fun. Good night, babe. Good night, ladies.
What did she take?
I was excited about this trip.
This is the thing. I'm like, Kay is really giving Debbie Downer, honey. Like, it's not cute. Kay, this is not cute. Like, we thought you would be the fun girl, and now you're not the fun girl, and we don't like that. You give us the fashions, but no, we want the fun Kay.
And I got Wendy, issue, no issue. If I hear that you...
Kay, Wendy does not have an issue with you. You are the one that has an issue with Wendy. It's like, how else can you say it? I don't get it.
Talk about me, I would be very, very hurt. I got Jazzy trying to yell in my face. I was from the Beyonce. Say something you'll never be. My girlfriend is now a catfish. I've seen enough. What's wrong? You okay? Yeah, I'm tired. I need to decompress. Yeah, decompress. All right.
So she's like, oh, she needs to decompress. And it's like, okay, girl, like, oh, It's just giving like you have bad vibes. You're on holiday with these girlies. Like, people would love to see you having fun. So I hope that she decompresses this night and she comes back with good energy, because nobody likes a Debbie Downer, especially on holidays. People want to see you having fun. They want to see you interacting with the girls. They don't want to see a fraction. They don't want to see division in the group. Everyone is just like, let's just go. Let's just have a good time. Let everybody be chilling and enjoying themselves. That would be nice. That would be nice.
Good night, ladies. Bye. Let's start again tomorrow, because today, no. F.
Yeah, let's see what the people are saying about Kay. Someone says Kay is a wet blanket. Don't ignite all these little fires everywhere and then get mad when you get burned by them. Clock it. Another person says, make this Kiana's last season. You see, that's the problem, right? Because if you're not handling things properly, this is what will end up happening. People are asking for this to be your last season. Because it's like, even if you're going to give us the drama, you need to give us some good energy. People like to see energy. So give us the good energy. But no, it seems like everything is just very... It's all very extreme with her. Anger that seems very misplaced. Kay can't handle that everyone is having fun and getting along. She wants to be arguing with obvious that she is not I feel like she's too tethered. She's too tethered to Kay. And I feel like that's the reason why she acts the way she acts. If she was really just being free and not trying to be a sidekick to Kay, I think that things would have worked out so much better. So much better. Anyway, guys, I would also, for anyone, guys, if you want to join the membership, please feel free to join. I believe is it $2.99 or $3.99, something along those lines. But yeah, please join the membership. We have like certain conversations that we may not necessarily have over here. So yes. So please join the membership. Also, if you want to support the channel, please feel free to send super stickers and super chats. Really, really appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for hanging with us. I am starting to get tired, I'm not gonna lie. So I am going to call it a night. But thank you so much, everyone, for hanging. Thanks to everyone in the comments. And for anyone who wants to be a mod, put it in the chat and I will review. And if you're regular, I will add you as a mod. Also to the replay gang, thanks for joining, thanks for listening. Please hit that like button. And also let me know what you're drinking and let me know what you think about this video. I know we talked about a few different topics, so feel free to like play and then leave comments as you're watching. So I don't mind the multiple comments at all. As long as you get to say your piece and say exactly what it is that you want to say, that is fine by me. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, we have some good things and more fun stuff to talk about tomorrow. But thanks for hanging with me, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.